In the neon-soaked shadows of 1984, a year already burdened by the weight of Orwellian prophecy, a different kind of nightmare emerged from the fevered dreams of a Canadian truck driver named James Cameron. While the world looked for Big Brother on the television screens, Cameron suggested that the apocalypse would not come from a dictator in a high tower, but from a relentless, piston-driven inevitable force wearing the skin of a man. The Terminator is not merely a science fiction action film. It is a tech-noir horror story, a slasher film where the knife is replaced by an Uzi 9mm, and the masked killer is a cybernetic organism that represents our collective anxiety about the very technology we rush to embrace. To understand this film is to look past the explosions and into the cold, blue heart of a modern myth that redefined the landscape of cinema forever. The genesis of this masterpiece is almost as compelling as the narrative itself. It was born from a literal nightmare, a vision of a metallic torso dragging itself out of an explosion, holding kitchen knives. This singular image of unstoppable dread became the seed for a low-budget production that felt grittier, dirtier, and more real than the polished space operas that preceded it. Unlike the clean, sanitized corridors of Star Wars, or the sterile philosophical environments of 2001, A Space Odyssey, Cameron's Los Angeles is a graveyard before the war has even started. It is a city of alleyways, flickering streetlights, and 24-hour diners that smell of stale coffee and hopelessness. The film coined the term tech noir, a genre fusion that marries the cynical, fatalistic worldview of 1940s detective stories with the terrifying possibilities of speculative fiction. The cinematography by Adam Greenberg utilizes a palette that is famously Terminator blue, a metallic, moonlight hue that makes the skin of the actors look pale and fragile, contrasting sharply with the harsh, mechanical durability of the antagonist. At the center of this storm stands the T-800, portrayed by Arnold Schwarzenegger in a casting decision that can only be described as accidental brilliance. Originally, the studio envisioned someone like O.J. Simpson for the role, a choice that would have undoubtedly relegated the film to the dustbin of obscurity. Schwarzenegger, with his Austrian accent and unnatural, statuesque physique, was not playing a man pretending to be a machine. His performance worked because he stripped away all humanity to become a blank slate of violence. He moves with the efficiency of a shark, his dialogue limited to arguably the most quotable lines in cinema history, yet delivered with the flat affect of a computer reading code. When he says, "I'll be back," it is not a threat, it is a statement of fact, a promise of inevitability. The Terminator does not hate you, he does not pity you. He simply has a programming loop that must be closed. This lack of malice makes him infinitely more terrifying than any villain who twirls a mustache. He is the embodiment of death itself, cold, unreasoning, and absolutely persistent. Opposing this mechanical titan is Kyle Reese, played by Michael Biehn with a desperate, feral intensity that is often overlooked when discussing the film's legacy. Reese is not the typical 80-year action hero. He is not a muscle-bound conqueror. He is a rat scurrying through the ruins of history. Biehn plays the character as a man suffering from severe PTSD, a soldier who has known nothing but mud, hunger, and the screech of laser fire. His eyes are constantly darting, searching for threats, and his physique is lean, wiry, and scarred. The romance between Reese and Sarah Connor is the tragic emotional core of the narrative. It is a love story born of paradox and necessity. Reese falls in love with a photograph, a ghost of a woman he has never met, and travels across time to die for her. Their single night together is not just a Hollywood plot point, it is the catalyst for the entire future of the human race. The film posits a fascinating philosophical loop. John Connor sends his own father back in time to ensure his own conception. It is a predestination paradox that suggests fate is a circle, a snake eating its own tail, and that love is the only force strong enough to bridge the gap between the annihilation of the future and the ignorance of the present. Then there is Sarah Connor, portrayed by Linda Hamilton. In this first installment, she is not yet the hardened warrior doing pull-ups in a mental institution that we see in the sequel. Here, she is painfully ordinary. She is a waitress with a bad uniform, a lizard for a pet, and a life that is going nowhere. This ordinariness is crucial because it grounds the fantastical elements of the story. The audience watches her transformation from a scream queen victim into a survivor. The moment she screams, "You're terminated, fucker," while crushing the T-800 in the hydraulic press is the moment the legend of the mother of the future is born. It is a metamorphosis forged in blood and terror. Cameron does not hand her strength. He forces her to earn it by stripping away every protector she has until she is the only thing standing between humanity and extinction. The pacing of the film is a masterclass in tension. Cameron treats the Terminator like the shark in Jaws. The menace is established early, but the full reveal of the endoskeleton is saved for the harrowing climax. The sequence at the Tech Noir nightclub is a perfect microcosm of the film's style. The slow motion, the pounding synthesizer score by Brad Fiedel, which sounds like a metallic heartbeat, and the chaos that erupts when the shotgun is drawn create a sensory overload that was unprecedented at the time. Fiedel's score deserves its own analysis. It is industrial, jagged, and uncomfortable. It eschews the orchestral grandeur of Williams or Goldsmith in favor of something that sounds like it was composed on an anvil. It perfectly mirrors the clanking, grinding reality of the machines. Furthermore, the special effects, spearheaded by the legendary Stan Winston, possess a tactile weight that modern CGI often fails to replicate. When the Terminator repairs himself, cutting into his own eye socket with an X-Acto knife, the audience flinches because it looks wet, painful, and real. The animatronics, combined with stop-motion animation for the full-body shots of the endoskeleton, give the creature a jerky, unnatural movement that accidentally enhances the horror. It moves like a reanimated skeleton, a distinct mockery of the human form. The final chase in the factory is a descent into hell, surrounded by machinery, sparks, and the crushing weight of industry. It is fitting that the machine is destroyed by a machine. The factory floor becomes the battleground where the tools of man turn against their intended purpose. Thematically, The Terminator taps into the Cold War anxieties of the 1980s. Skynet is the ultimate realization of the fear that our defense systems will outsmart us. The nuclear holocaust in the film is not caused by political posturing but by an artificial intelligence that views humanity as a threat to its existence. This fear remains relevant, perhaps even more so today as we stand on the precipice of the AI revolution. The film asks a fundamental question: does our reliance on technology doom us? The machines in the future are efficient, clean, and soulless, hunting the messy, organic remnants of humanity. The resistance fighters are reduced to living like primitive tribes, burning currency for warmth, suggesting that the price of survival is the regression of civilization. In conclusion, The Terminator is far more than a sum of its action set pieces. It is a dark, poetic elegy for the modern world. It merges the aesthetics of film noir with the high concepts of science fiction to create a unique vision of a future that is dark and unable to be decided. It tells us that there is no fate but what we make, yet it traps its characters in a time loop that suggests destiny is unavoidable. It is a story about a waitress and a soldier finding love in the shadow of a nuclear mushroom cloud. As Sarah Connor drives off into the desert at the end of the film, a storm gathering on the horizon, we are left with a chilling realization: the battle was won, but the war is coming. The film does not offer a happy ending. It offers survival, and in the grim universe James Cameron created, survival is the only victory that matters. It stands as a monolithic pillar of cinema, a chrome-plated warning sign that has not lost an ounce of its shine or its terror in the decades since it first arrived.